means that teams are still kind of figuring out what's good, what's not, and kind of figuring out what is going to end up working out the best for them. And here on this map of Oni Village, we're going to see the Octavia, which hasn't been a pick that we've seen in recent patches, but it feels like it's kind of finally found a spot to take for this season.
Yeah, the character is definitely strong right now, but more importantly, she's a lot more accessible, especially with those primary changes. A lot of people who already played Octavia, by the way, it's not like people who, oh, with the dangerous back pass. It's not like people who didn't play Octavia before are now playing it for the first time. It's more like people who had an Octavia in the back pocket are now a lot more willing to pick her. But one thing I'd like to point out, Rasmus Estelle is still Rasmus Estelle at the end of the day. This is Oni Village, one of that forward duo's best maps in the entire game, too. So we'll see how that goes, especially into a goalie like Era, who traditionally kind of crumbles against this sort of ranged, harassed poke offense. Era is a lot better at kind of beaming the brawler who wants to walk up and strike, but if she's getting harassed by projectiles and hooks and stuff, it could be really hard for her to deal, especially considering Rasmus's new changes. His secondary makes him move a lot faster in short bursts. So we'll see how Milkman can try to handle that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I think the size may be a factor, but ultimately, if you're just getting absolutely pummeled by just all of these stuns by 3Z and Stealth, you're definitely going to have some difficulty. But for now, we are seeing everyone alive and one barrier up, as is the case with this Oni Village map. Josh, Stealthrock, Meltman, and Luke all have flip up. Josh, though, opts to use it here. Snake, great at dash punch, but even better save from Luke is going to mean that no goal is found just yet on the barrier. The primary is coming out from both the forwards of the side of Bombardiers, but it's not going to be the barrier found. However, it is going to be a kill found on two Hungry Boys. That's going to be the barrier down now. 3Z with the speed from Luke. Stealthrock as well, passing out 3Z with the pendulum swing. Going to find the goal, and I mean, great job just from the set of Bombardiers. They know what they want to do. It's Estelle Rasmus. You know exactly what's coming.
Yeah, they kept their possession for a long time on offense there, because they're playing versus Era and Octavia, two characters who don't have cooldowns to interrupt from range as easily as most other characters in the game. Bombardiers recognized that and they were able to punish appropriately, kept possession going on their offense for a long time, and eventually just the Mako speed was all it really took. The Mako speed is very, very notable in this match, I think. It's something that Bombardiers are playing around, almost like the core concept of their offense here. They're keeping the possession for as long as they can, and they're going in as soon as Luke is holding down that secondary button. And Luke almost saving that completely through the Estelle there, but Snake gets his opportunity, and as he always does, Snake turns a single chance into a goal. Time and time again, we might see plenty of those breakaways this game, but breakaways alone aren't enough to take the series, so this could be a stalling out as Heaven Gundam tries to find a more consistent game plan.
Yeah, I mean, incredible conversion from Snake, but they have to work as a team. They have to figure out how to play into this matchup, and that is a good start off of this point, as well as the flow state online for Josh. But that is going to be flow state now down, and Josh may have flip up here soon. May have to use it to get this barrier down. But I mean, Luke is just a pillar of defenses. We're seeing the barrier saved once again, even with that flip burned. 3Z though and Stealthrock, I mean, it's so easy for them to just take the offense and get this pressure with that speed from Mako online, and Breezy has much more burst of speed with that Whiplash as well. So you're seeing Josh kind of even outsped a little bit in some of these spots by that Whiplash and the speed that 3Z just has available to him. Is no barrier down yet. Stealthrock, incredible piercing shot to catch the goal. Great job from the side of Bombardiers after playing defense for basically that entire point.
Yeah, catching Milkman walking up a little bit too far on the offense there, on the defense even. Estelle able to kind of assert herself in the lobby as usual, and she gets her pick in this draft. There's a lot of strong picks here, one of which I will highlight is Spark of Focus. Aerials as well, also very good. As we see, yeah, Milkman going for Spark of Focus, Estelle going for Aerials. The dash range on Oni Village, especially as Estelle, especially with the dash range being also a projectile range increase, is very, very good in Estelle. Chrono Boost and I coming in not quite just at an eye too, as Chrono Boost Rasmus, he loves that awakening, right? It gives him more time for the recast window. It makes that already large haste number much larger too, and gives him more of that buff for a longer time. These kind of offenses, we're seeing 3Z use that haste very, very effectively in tandem with the Mako haste. That Chrono Boost might make it even more effective.
Yeah, and additionally, it kind of gives you that length that you saw back before the patch, with when you have Chrono Boost, as well as a lot more speed with that additional adding to the speed. But that doesn't really matter right here. I mean, Josh and Snake just have figured out how to kind of dismantle this defense from the side of Mamateers so far. But that is Snake with the flip online. May have to use it here soon. Not quite. As Josh getting some passes between Milkman, trying to, I guess, stall for that speed. But I mean, you have 2 flips up now for the set of Heavy Metal Gundam. I want to see them use only one here, because if they use that second one, it could be cooked. As oh no, Snake just barely pushes Stealth Rock a little too far, and that's the other flip, not quite finding it. As Luke now has the flip online. They have to use it here as Josh just trying to get it up to Snake. Great pass back to Milkman means that they're able to get some sort of pressure, but no goal found just yet. As I mean, Luke, 3Z Breezy, and Stealth Rock are doing a great job of just keeping this core out and kind of preventing them from running any good spots. But as I'm speaking, oh my gosh, Josh, incredible job just finding this bottom angle on the goal. And I mean, really great job.
That special from Snake wouldn't have killed if he didn't just pick up Tempo Swing, by the way. 105 power Juliet with Built Different does do quite a bit, but the Tempo Swing applies so many times on her special that it gave that actually extra little push for that to stagger at the very end there. Almost taking the point single-handedly, as otherwise Shapeshifting would have been able to save the ball there. They played a good defensive sequence last point, and it's looking like they're going to play one now too, but what's really worth pointing out is that they have to be playing these defensive sequences in the first place, which means they're not in control of the ball, they're not running possession, like they were so dominantly in set 1, and it kind of makes you wonder what changed. There were no real insane pickups for Heavy Metal Gundam. It could just be a playstyle thing. They're making sure they're hitting the ball in such ways that they're able to keep possession for longer. Or it could just be that Spark of Focus on Era is letting her keep the play going for much longer too. It's hard to tell, honestly, in such a new patch.
Yeah, I mean, I think just the side of Heavy Metal Gundam, they're doing so well, perhaps not with any crazy difference in the awakenings, but instead maybe just figuring out what they need to do, but also getting some scaling awakenings with that Spark, as you mentioned, could be very crucial to winning future sets here as well. But 3Z Breeze with the Whiplash is going to force down that flip from Milkman. Josh looking really hurt, but it's going to be using that ultimate, not finding anything off of it though. Shapeshifting opting to use that flip, catching the stagger onto Josh, but nothing found just yet as 3Z Breezy unfortunately going to miss the confirm. Really great save on the Whiplash from Milkman, but not out of the woods just yet as that's going to be 3Z Breezy. So much speed from the Mako and just striking around the entire side of Heavy Metal Gundam.
Really, yeah. If you're a brawler positioned on the enemy side of the map and Mako presses haste, you can make something out of nothing at almost any moment. And we saw it there, 3Z Breezy winning 2 strike wars at once with that extra size and the speed to work with to position himself there in the first place. Mako is looking like a great pick right now. Luke able to make a lot of very important dash punch saves too. It feels like Snake is only able to score with like 1 in every 3 dash punches. Because Luke has that empowered strike. The extra size, especially with his already 2 size awakenings, makes his strikes very strong, especially if he's buffering them far away from where Snake is actually aiming the dash punch. Though he is able to take the barrier now, the open net is something Luke is no stranger to in this set, as he's defended it for all 3 points so far. He's looking very comfortable in it too, especially if he's able to keep that offense going, pressing secondary, keeping the play going. But Snake gets a kill and a flip here. This could be a turn of the tide.
Yeah, as now Luke has the flip online, but Snake and Josh don't have any to their name either, as that's going to be the ult coming out from Luke. Finding the save for now is Milkman just keeping the core forward, but that is shapeshifting back to online. Stealth Rock 3Z both trying to make an attempt on the goal, but Snake going to be able to keep it out for now. Great strikes means that nothing is down just yet, but 3Z Breezy has flip online. Hits Josh, but that's the save found with the empowered strike, as you were mentioning. Luke able to keep it out. 3Z Breezy now using flip. Great primary from Snake. It's going to mean no goal is found just yet, as Josh now 3Z Breezy, Stealth Rock trying to find something up here. But that's a Whiplash 3Z. So much speed. Beats out that Era Flutterfly, and unfortunately nothing that you can do if you're Heavy Metal Gundam, as that's going to be Bomba Tears taking their way up to 2-1 in this set. They're looking to just run away with this.
Chrono Boost, Fighter Flight, Slick Picks, Erasmus is terrifying to deal with if all you have to defend is a strike. Josh didn't have his primary or anything going on. All he had to do was, or all he could do, was watch as 3Z was setting up a most scary offense of his life, really. And that's the thing, is that Erasmus Estelle has so much space to work with. They can create so much space for themselves that they can find those kinds of situations. They can create them at any moment, really. And whenever they're not doing that, they can just play the game at a normal, slow kind of pace and shut down those kinds of offensive breakaways from Snake. And there it is, a random Erasmus primary as the ball goes around. Cracking open the Era's defenses there. It's an open net for Era, something that she really doesn't like to deal with, as that character does not have much reactive range tools. All she really has is beam, and that can't save a lot of things like flip.
Yeah, that's going to be the core going into the net. Stealth Rock shapeshifting, finding a great pass up to 3Z, whether intentional or not, but that pendulum swing was able to lock it in. And now getting into the draft, I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen here. Is we do have Sparks as potentially being a threat by Milkman on the Era, or I mean, you got that Manu. Oh my gosh, it's a great draft for Era.
Very importantly, yeah, I think is taking the Spark of Agility away from Era. I think even if Manu is open, she still prefers that. We'll see if Milkman make that decision now that Excel is locked in Rapid Fire. It looks like she still doesn't know for sure. That does get the Rasmus denying the Spark of Agility away, which means that she will eventually pick up 1-2 Punch as a deny from Mako or something? I'm not sure. But Era's NATO was buffed in size, so it scales very, very well with Monumentalist now. Something Milkman is probably aware of, and is instead making a decision to stop Mako from having some sort of core speed, though I'm not sure about the philosophy behind that drafting decision. Different notable pickup is the OIA on Juliet. She's going to be 12% faster for pretty much the entire game, at the only cost being that she's a little easier to kill, a little easier to stagger at that. But if you have that much speed, if you're able to assert yourself over the game that easily, that downside might as well not exist, especially if you have that tempo swing. Though it does mean your tempo swings hits will be a little less hard than it would be at base.
Yeah, and as we saw, like, Snake already got a breakaway there, and now has Flip Online, is going to opt to burn it here, unfortunately, to stay alive. But that is the price you pay with OIA, as Milkman now in the 1v2 against 3Z Breeze, and shapeshifting 3Z, though, has the strikes, passes between the two, mean that it's so hard to play in the 1v2, and Milkman, nothing you can really do there, is Bombardiers only 2 points away from taking this first game.
Yeah, Era's being left with very few options on defense many, many times this game. It's almost a theme where Octavia has to position offensively to get anything done this game, but as soon as she does, if she makes a single mistake, if the ball gets past her even once, Rasmus and Estelle are able to capitalize off of that so effectively, right? And we're seeing it happen again and again. Even Octavia on defense, even if she is there, positioned to defend against Rasmus, he still might find that goal anyway, especially with Estelle position too. And we're just seeing so many resources burned for Heavy Metal Gundam trying to make the point not die.
Yeah, the point is still in line, but it is Josh's health bar that looks maybe a little low, as Rasmus and Cell aren't directly trying to kill you, but have so much chip damage. But it's great save from Luke. Never mind, Flip comes out. Snake with the primary is going to mean that the barrier is now down for the side of Bombardiers, but that is 3Z Breezy with the pendulum swing also finding the barrier, as now open net for both sides. Josh has the flow state online, but is looking very hurt as Snake trying to strike it past. He is able to get through 3Z Breezy, but that whiplash is going to mean that now you got a staggered Josh, and that's a Snake also staggered, that's shapeshifting staggered and off the field, as now Snake and Josh trying to find something. Great primary is going to mean that nothing is found, but Snake is going to be able to get the core. That's going to be core going into the bottom of the net. I mean, crazy interaction back and forth between these two teams, but ultimately it's going to be Heavy Metal Gundam coming out on top, showing that they're not out.
Yeah, Snake winning a couple crucial strike wars in a row. Something I know Heavy Metal Gundam are counting on. It's the kind of playstyle they have where they just know Snake will win his interactions, so they trust him to do it. And he delivers on that. It's a solid playstyle. But really, it's the same kind of breakaway. They got a kill on shapeshifting. They were able to convert it into a goal, but getting a kill is not something this team can consistently do. Either you find a dash punch with Juliet, or Octavia can get a primary into ultimate on someone without a flip or an evade. So you're not getting frequent access to power plays, and if you're not in a power play, you're kind of in a dangerous spot as Heavy Metal Gundam here, as the speed, the sheer movement speed from Rasmus and the Mako speed boost can be so overwhelming for just an Octavia with an Era to support her to deal with.
Yes, now we're Snake, or the set of Heavy Metal Gundam just on the offense. Snake does have that flip available, is going to use it here, as well as Luke burning their own, as that's going to be a great strike from Snake, catching the kill, catching the goal. Oh my gosh, just incredible job from the side of Heavy Metal Gundam. Like, this is where their game plan comes into position, as the side of Bombardiers just has to bunch up and kind of takes a whole bunch of damage, and when they can finally get a kill, it's crucial for the team.
Yeah, Snake playing like a man on fire. As soon as they get the ball in the corner here, it's exactly where they want to be. Right now, especially, this is what they want in their team comp. It's what they drafted for. And as soon as they can get the ball there and run it for as long as possible, All it really takes is a couple lost interactions for Bombardiers to clear it out, but the offense can be very, very potent. So long as they can set Snake up for a proper dash punch, a proper cash out, maybe even a flip to work with too. So Octavia does have that extra special to work with, so she can force out some guaranteed corner wins a lot more frequently than you'd expect. However, Shapeshifting finding a breakaway point on the barrier there, forcing out Bookman's flip there with Easy Breezy's pendulum swing. Snake finds the barrier into flip though, can he score off of it? He can with a dash! Oh my god! That's the set!
Oh my gosh. I mean, the side of Heavy Metal Gundam kind of figured out what they need to do, and it is just shove everything into Snake and let Snake do his job. As, I mean, this brawler is just so... Once it gets in the corner, you're just cooked. As now, I mean, that's going to be Snake rewarded with an Among Titans
he's
on the Juliet.
drafting interestingly this game. He's picking a OIA Among Titans, Tempo Swing BD, so the BD is going to cancel out the Among Titans. So he's going to be normal size, pretty much, which means he's just base size Juliet with a lot of movement speed, really. And also her teammates are getting larger, too, which Octavia really likes. I'd like to make that clear. Octavia is such a strike-reliant character, so even that size from Snake is very helpful, especially with the explosive entrance she's already picked up. Not much to go around except for an inner focus mention from Shapeshifting, but we can see that he's taking quite a lot of damage. He died a couple times last set. He's already about to die this one. So stacking up that inner focus could actually prove to be a little difficult, though if he does, with that rapid fire, it will prove to be very, very strong with the CDR he'll get from it.
Yeah, definitely. But, I mean, it's just a great offense from the side of Bombardiers, and already just striking through the entire set of Heavy Metal Gundam. The passing is really, really great, and that's exactly what this comp wants to do, is just get it to each other in great positions, and now we're looking at Bombardiers, once again, only 2 points away. But the side of Heavy Metal Gundam has shown that they can do stuff, and is now already one barrier down from the side of Bombardiers in this point.
Yeah, very, very scrambly defense, though Luke does eventually strike last in that interaction. However, we can see Josh is fast enough to walk back to catch the ball in these strike war interactions, which is a very important breakpoint for Octavia, because it means that she can take those otherwise risky point-blank strike wars and not actually face the risk of losing them, because it means she can walk back and recover it. This is a very notable threshold for Octavia. It makes her a lot stronger in those interactions. However, Octavia's taken off the map, the Snake's at 1 HP, the barrier's down, and Milkman no longer has a flip to work with.
Yeah, and speaking of nothing to work with, you're missing your forward as well, as now that's me, South Rock trying to pass the 3Z Breezy. Passes need to happen here as they're lobstering it up on the power play, but it's all good as they're able to get the strikes through. Josh on the respawn unable to get anything going, unfortunately, and I mean, getting a little too comfortable on the power play, but ultimately his Bombardiers only 1 point now away from taking this game.
I think if Luke didn't have missile propulsion, that page wouldn't have actually connected. The offense would be a lot less guaranteed than otherwise was. Oh, not quite finding the breakaway claiming on the barrier there. However, Snake is able to punish for it very, very effectively. That's 2 barriers, forces out the flip from Shapeshifting. He no longer has an evade to work with. That could be the inner focus stacks if more damage finds its way to him, but with no Juliel, it might be hard. However, the Aeronado barely isn't traveling far enough to kill Squeeze Breezer there. His HP is taking the toll for it, though. He gets the orb, and instead Octavia is the one to fall, even despite just picking up the orb. Snake is on the board, he is making moves, but his dash was just suspended, and this defense can be dangerous.
Yeah, Milkman does have that flip available now, as may use it here, but it is going to be the flow state online for Josh. Never mind, it's gone. But that ult is coming out means that, no, nothing is found just yet. 3Z, great attempt on the death touch, but Josh, great strut. Oh my gosh, Luke able to save it away for now with the flip online. Milkman has the strike up with the flip. Snake with the core is going to try and get it past Josh, and now passes between the two. Is going to find the coin slot on top, right above Luke and in the net. No flip is going to save you there. Is really great job from the side of Heavy Metal Gundam. Is going to mean that they're not out.
Yeah, just the sheer core speed and that overtime kicking in there, especially with the fire-up value from Milkman, who used it just a bit ago. Fire-up is an awakening that does actually see quite a lot of value as soon as it does make its entrance, as soon as that flip is dropped down. Wow, Snake finding a sudden kill with an ultimate punch flip. Not the kind of thing you're used to, especially with that tempo swing, giving that extra damage for it, especially with the built different, too. 7% is no small number, but the barriers are down for Heavy Metal Gundam even despite that kill. And Milkman has to play a very, very careful game, because if he makes one mistake, the game is over. It is game point right now. Josh opting for the flip on the corner, however, it is cleared out with the core remaining at its full speed. Snake has an offensive opportunity, but there's nothing really to do here when all three players of the Bombardiers are stacking in that corner. Nothing to force here as they do find that outwards clear.
Yeah, but the set of Bombardiers is taking a lot of damage from this from these corner interactions as Luke is able to keep it out for now with the strikes. I mean, Mako has 3 million hits it feels, but it's really on breakaway, not finding anything. Great defense from the entire side of Heavy Metal Gundam is going to mean that nothing is found just yet. That's going to be 3Z Breezy though, hitting the pendulum swing, catching the goal. That's going to be Bombardiers taking this game 3-1.
Yeah, Bombardiers really making their game work for them. Drafting Rasmus Estelle, playing it to perfection. It's the kind of comp you see a lot. It's a very, very common forward duo, but teams have a lot of different ways of playing it, and what we saw there, especially with the Mako speed that they got, there was a lot of passing back and forth on offense. Some of that might have been influenced by the strike CDR change, but some of it might just be their fundamentals showing, knowing that if they can run this offense for a long time, they can eventually find the proper opening, can eventually go for like a chain to hit stun, say a strike primary from Rasmus with an Estelle primary to back it up. Traditionally very strong scoring pattern, right? And we've seen it work time and time and time again, especially as the ball gets in that open space. Shapeshifting, able to, with the aerials, answer it at any moment, really. And Freezy Breezy, as soon as he gets the ball on his own in open space, he can turn that into almost anything he wants with the speed from Chrono Boost, Fight or Flight, Mako, Slick Kicks. He had so much to work with that it felt like he was able to be as creative as he wanted with his offenses. And Milkman wasn't able to answer at all. He just doesn't have the resources. Era only has a beam and her own strike to work with against it.
Yeah, I mean, once you're kind of in a spot where you have to be able to catch passes or catch speed, you have the tools at Era's disposal, but it's not enough to really do much more than hit a few extra hits. And I mean, we saw it there exactly. The speed is just overwhelming from Rasmus, and topped off with that self-rock shape-shifting Estelle is going to mean that it's just really, really difficult to play your win condition if you are the side of Heavy Metal Gundam. A lot of that was just kind of following the court of Snake, but ultimately you're getting clipped by a lot of those abilities from 3Z and from shapeshifting, and you take a lot of damage. Now it does go both ways. We saw Snake and Josh and Milkman able to do a whole bunch of damage to the side of Bombardiers and ultimately get 5 kills on Snake. But I mean, it was just kind of the side of Bombardiers is playing your game plan and doing it better. And I think Snake with that speed was able to get a lot done, but ultimately just wasn't really enough to find any sort of consistent position in the game.
Yeah, it's interesting because Octavia is traditionally the kind of pick where if the enemy team wants to draft for speed, if they want the draft to push the ball through you, then Octavia is the character to do it, right? The character to answer that kind of enemy team comp. Because so long as they're striking the ball into you, you have your own speed, right? And you can answer wherever they want to send it through with that speed. But we were seeing the way Bombardiers were playing offense, it wasn't so much to get through Octavia, but instead to keep the ball until they could find a way to get around her, right? It forces her to go every which way, and as long as she's not striking the ball, she doesn't actually have that speed to answer the places they're sending the ball, right? So they're able to find a lot of very threatening offenses so long as they're able to correctly stall out the game. And I mean, what better to stall out the game than a Mako goalie like Luke, who was almost impossible to score on, it felt like, especially with his 2 size awakenings and enhanced strike. He had so much size when he needed it, right? And going into this next draft, actually, almost immediately, is a Rampage explosive start on Inkies here, which is an interesting start. I think pretty much everyone is going to opt for the explosive entrance because Rampage on a 1 barrier map, which is a lot less strong than it tends to be. So explosive entrance is the 15% on impacts is very notable. The dash range is also very notable, as we've seen with Estelle in that last game too. So we'll see how Bomba Tears and Heavy Gundam will play around that.
Yeah, as we are gonna see Luna and Kai band away from the side of Bombardiers and Heavy Metal Gundam, respectively. But I think in terms of picks, we're seeing a Bombardiers Estelle. As you said, that explosive entrance is gonna be a really, really big awakening here, with Rampage kind of being null and void in this game. And I think that Estelle is just going to be able to open up a lot of opportunities. You have that extra dash range, and we saw in that last game just such a confident pick coming out from Stealth Rock, or maybe Luke if he chooses to do so. But it was very, very powerful in this game, and we'll see what Heavy Metal Gundam has to kind of go against it as we see an era locked in, first and foremost, which is going to be pretty nice with that explosive entrance. But it could be a situation that we see with that last game.
I'd like to point out that Estelle could actually be an Estelle goalie flex. This Estelle first pick is the best thing you can do on B1 is to pick a character that you can flex in multiple roles, because then you can, yeah, you get obviously more flexibility later in the draft. If you realize Estelle midfield isn't the right pick here, or you want a different uh, midfield, right? Then you can flex that to the goalie and instead play IME midfield, as we probably have just seen. And Luke is known for his Estelle goalie. It's something he's more than comfortable to lock in, especially on an open map like Inky Splash Zone, especially with a dash range too. This composition from Bombardiers looks very, very strong. Explosive Entrance is the perfect awakening to complement this team. Estelle, Aimi, Zentaro, three characters who love a dash awakening, and two of them who love impact awakenings really, really hard. And Estelle doesn't mind them that much either. So they have a lot of space coverage, they have a lot of damage, both of which are very important on a map like this, Inky Splash Zone. This could be their win con, especially when playing into, again, the same era goalie. This is Vice midfield and Juliet Brawler, most likely, unless we're playing Era midfield, which is possible. It's not impossible, but it is a little dangerous for Heavy Metal Gundam here because Era could get overwhelmed just as easily in this game if she is the goalie, as she was in last game. And if she isn't the goalie, Vice could be overwhelmed just as easily too, even maybe a little easier.
Yeah, I think it's a little scary of a spot here. You know, Bombardiers have a lot of space coverage. Maybe not the speed, but they have space coverage that you don't really see a whole lot of, on the side of Heavy Metal Gundam. I think additionally, haste is kind of something you're only going to be seeing from the side of Heavy Metal Gundam, and only a little bit from just that era secondary. But we'll see how it all kind of ends up working out as we're about to get started on this game here. I am interested in seeing. I think it we'll see how Snake feels about either the Juliet extra range on her dash, or if Snake is going to in fact opt in for the Rampage, because it's not entirely null. You do still get a little bit of that size if you're able to scale it, but I we'll see kind of how it ends up working out here.
Yeah, even at base, it is 5% size, which is notable. It's nothing to ignore. Though I would say if Snake does pick Explosive Entrance, it would be for the impact damage, as we've seen Built Different alone, 7%. We've seen it put in work last game. Doubling that, 15% impacts is very significant on Julie. So she could make quite a few plays with that extra damage. We'll see if that is something Snake wants to opt for, though. And it is not. He goes for the size, which is a much more stable pick. 5% at minimum, and 5 per barrier, so he could scale pretty solidly throughout the set. However, one thing I'd like to point out, Rampage might actually be a little difficult to stack into this team. However, already a barrier takes so quickly from him.
Yeah, Snake just great strikes is going to be that they are able to find that first barrier, as you said. They do still have the threat of the water cannon online here, so we may see it very soon as Zuzumi shapeshifting taken off the field. Meltman pushing up, but with that, Flutterfly is able to get the strike up to keep their area alive. Breezy down, but not out, as the orb take is going to mean that they're able to get so much done, and that's going to be the level up. Oh my gosh, Stealth Rock off the respawn is going to be taking Snake out of the field, as Josh looking low as well. Breezy, Stealth Rock shapeshifting, trying to do a great job of getting this barrier down, but Meltman may just be too strong off of this beginning of the game. But no, Breezy is going to be able to catch that barrier down now, as Stealth Rock trying to get some strikes around the side, as that's going to be Water Cannon coming out. Great strike, great ult away from Josh. It's going to mean no barrier, or no goal found just yet, as Breezy is still looking low. May get taken low here soon, and Josh has the flip online now. Milkman is now online as well. may opt to use them here soon as the tornado coming out, not finding anything just yet. Flip burn from Upman is going to mean that offense is kind of ruined for just a little bit.
Yeah, great play from Luke earlier there. Both of his teammates had died, and he was still able to hold the barrier. Let's see if he can do it again here. Stalling out for time, a great thing something he's been doing greatly in this point so far. However, choosing for the down, Snake is covering it very, very hard here. Able to punish him for that sword angle. Otherwise, he would have been able to flip for it, but not quite, as Snake is committing to it. A very, very volatile first point. Something we might expect to see a lot more of on NP Splash Zone.
Yeah, I think we had some great shines of light from both sides, but those Snake and Josh with the flips both online. Snake gonna use his, but nothing is found just yet as Josh. I thought we would have stayed a buffered flip there, but no, as Snake though instead is gonna be able to get the core off of that primary from Josh, and now I mean it's Heavy Metal Gunner just trying to run away with this series or with this point with the sets, I guess even as Josh still has flip online, Luke as well.
Yeah, just a clean punch from Snake is all you need sometimes. Josh is already sent to 1 HP. The barrier is down. This could be very dangerous. Breezy may or may not have ultimate, and there it is. Schrodinger's ultimate has revealed itself. Not quite a kill, as the angle isn't correct. However, Josh he is able to recover. He finds the orb, backs off. Offense is dropped for a little bit, which gives Bombardiers the possession, and because of that, they find that passive secondary from Breezy, able to put the ball in the net very convincingly.
Yeah, and getting into this next point, we have 2 flips online for the set of Bombardiers. 3Z working his way up to 1. So we may see those come out very soon here. Once you can get the barrier down, it's very difficult for the other side to kind of find anything. It's going to be Luke using that flip to stay alive in that supernova coming out from Josh. But it is be Josh now taking off the field.
Oh, great strike shot from Luke, covering the out clear, taking the barrier for it too. Net is open with Shapeshifting's flip and the water cannon to work with. Almost everything is in favor of Bombardiers here. Opting for flip early, Snake's special is actually able to save it out. Breezy with the secondary here, not quite able to find it, and he dies, getting flipped off the map on that open part of the barrier there, the bumper. Unique to Inky Splash Zone. We're finding plenty of kills with it already. Only 4 points into the game.
Yeah, now we're on the defense for the side of Heavy Metal Gun once again, but that is going to be the supernova coming out, not finding anything. Great strike though from Stealth Rock, Shapeshifting. Going to be able to find the score, find the goal, and now, I mean, we're all tied up in this first set. 2-2 between Bombardiers and Heavy Metal Gun.
Yeah, glitch swap for a strike war on his own turret, getting the outwards clear through the window there. Very, very well played from Shapeshifting there. The Aimi aficionado, as some come to know him as. Breezy, I'd like to point out, by the way, on the Zentaro pick is very short. You were able to evade that? Oh, the ball went in. There's the end of the set there. Josh hitting out of the water cannon. I'm astonished you can evade through Zentaro before the water cannon hits you there, though. I didn't even know that was possible. I learned something new today. All right, Snake takes the set Snake takes the MVP for the set here. 2 sparks to look at, so you're not worried about scaling further in the future until you consider Spark of Focus, which could be exactly what you want. Maybe a first pick Spark of Strength, not quite, as Reptile Remedy will make sure he's staying alive and keeping those Rampage stacks up. Rapid Fire opted for, even despite its nerfed numbers, it's still a very strong Awakening, very high presence. And Stinger on Aimi, that Awakening is broken, by the way. We're going to see it show so much value here. Spark of Strength pickup for 3Z Breezy, almost the best thing you can ever do as a Spark pickup is 6th picking it as the loser of the set. Breezy found the exact situation, taking the barrier instantly. How do you have passive?
Yeah, now is Luke able to get the save for now. 3Z Breezy all coming out. Supernova from Josh is going to mean that nothing is found just yet. That's me. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Stealth Rock fighting the goal. I mean, just the water cannon shooting Snake into the side. And oh my god, just incredible. Just absolutely jumping at you from the set of Bombardiers, catching that first point in the set.
Turns out you don't need to sting your opponents too hard if you can speed blitz them. However, this point looks like the one where stinging is to be done. However, Snake is almost able to find a breakaway, punishing Luke for that secondary. Water cannons, both sides are being used. Snake is low HP with no dash punch to worry about. No evade to worry about either. However, Josh with this offensive formation, his own flip might be the difference maker. Stealth Rock forces out Milkman's flip there. However, Milkman doesn't have anything directly defending him here on this offense here. Stealth Rock is staggered by Snake's ultimate here.
Yeah, and now Josh
The
does have
offense
that flip
missing
available
down.
map to use it here soon. He is going to use it in order to stay alive from shapeshifting cyber swipe, but now some dribbling and passes means that Josh is looking low, and the defense is saved away for now. The tornado coming out from Milkman is going to not find anything just yet. Stealthrock keeping it out for now, but that's going to be Breezy on the breakaway, not finding anything. Great defense from Milkman. Nothing found just yet. Josh and Snake, though, looking super low. Breezy looking at Josh, taking them off the field, and now Milkman in the solo play. Gotta find something here with the tornado coming out. Now Water Gun online, as that's gonna stall some more time for his forwards to come back online. Luke, the water cannon is gonna mean that it's gonna be Breezy with the primary catching the goal, and now, oh my gosh, just great job from Bubba Tears. They almost lost the solo play, but
Milkman almost stalled that out completely on his own there. That was almost a beautiful 1v3. However, I'd like to point out again, they're able to keep these forwards from having to get them staggered for so long, because that Stinger, I think, is the real big pickup. Explosive entrance contends, and Stinger really keeps it going, especially with the fact that Ivy turrets are putting out Stinger applications, but Snake is just able to find a random breakaway with a punch there. A random barrier, too. He's really able to salvage these situations at any moment. It feels like playing versus Heavy Metal Gundam. At any moment, the ball could go in. So you really have to be careful playing versus this team. However, Bumbateers can make a very controlled environment here, especially with their damage output. And it's something that we've been seeing earlier in the set.
Yeah, that is going to be Barry going down from the side of Bombardiers, but Milkman does have flip available. May opt to use it here with Josh to get some sort of offense going. Breezy beats Milkman to the flip, and that's going to be Breezy stunned by the flip from Josh. Taken off the field now. It's going to be 2v3. Heavy Metal Gundam looking confident here. Snake with the Juliet May. Oh, really great strikes from the defense. Is going to mean that no goal is scored just yet. Breezy back online now. Use that EI rush. Tries to get it past Milkman, but nothing is down. Great strike from Snake on the pass coverage is going to mean that nothing is scored just yet. Breezy now trying to get it past Snake, but nothing is found. Stealthrock with the cyber swipe, singing it up with that firewall sentry. Josh now getting the strike out, but it is Breezy and Stealthrock on the offense so effectively. This made Luke just keeping it forward, and Josh now looking incredibly low. Stealthrock able to keep it out for now, passes up to Breezy, but that's gonna be the strike from Breezy. Milkman, even with the bewitching beam size, is gonna not find any strike as that's the goal.
It felt like no one in the lobby but Breezy was ready for that arrow beam to be strike ward there. Everyone kind of doubled back like, oh, wait a second. But it was already too late by then, as the core is already too fast, especially with that spark of power from Breezy. Makes you hit the core a little bit harder. That could have made the difference, especially considering how close Milkman was to the ball at the end there. He has a lot to pick from here, but nothing especially important on him, opting to deny extra special from either Arrow or Vice, and Aimee gets inner focus. Very important awakening, as Aimee is probably the best character in the game at stacking inner focus. So with that, with CDR, the best thing you can pick up with CDR, with Stinger, I mean, is CDR. So if he does fully stack the inner focus, he's applying Stinger over and over and over again at such a higher rate. And that could make this set completely uncontrollable for Heavy Metal Gundam, so long as he gets it going. And if turret keeps hitting the ball or people like that, it will get going quite quickly.
Yeah, but oh my gosh, 3Z almost taken off the field, is just barely able to get that ult out in time to stay alive. But we are now seeing an offense from the side of Heavy Metal Gundam onto Luke, but great defense from the side of Shapeshifting and Luke. It's going to mean that, oh, barrier only just now falls. Oh, Josh, great power cord is going to mean that now is Shapeshifting off the field. No, strike, but Josh is there to save their team. Heavy Metal Gundam almost put in a very scary spot, but they are able to get that core into the goal for now.
Yeah, big win for the scaling of Heavy Metal Gundam here. Shapeshifting's inner focus stacks are already taken out for 0.1 at least, and considering how long it takes to stack, if you can cut out any time with that, that's a very big win for your team. One thing to point out, by the way, look at Snake's health bar. He has Berserker. He currently has 166 power, with no power awakenings but that, so that alone, this awakening, with the Stinger keeping him low for almost the entire game, it's a great and wise pickup. So long as he's able to live at that low health, he's able to get so much value. 185 power, 50 CDR, until he gets taken out by his Zintara EI Rush, which, again, Breezy doesn't seem to have any trouble finding.
Yeah, but that is going to be the Water Gun coming out from both teams. Milkman able to parry it away for now with the Bewitching Beam, but Water Gun saved away is now Snake. Josh back online. Now no power play for either side. Snake looking a little low, but as you said, that Berserker may come in very handy. Stealthrock is going to take a ton of damage from that Supernova and that Bewitching Beam, but not found the kill just yet, as they're healing so quickly. but it is going to be 3Z Breezy almost with flip available. Luke almost taken off the map by Snake, but Milkman on the solo play against Stealth Rock is going to be able to find the save for now. Luke on the defense, passing it up to Stealth Rock and Breezy, and be able to find the clear, but that is Bewitching Beam, and Era in general just keeping things forward. As flip coming out from Josh is not going to find this past Snake. Stealth Rock, Luke, great defense for now, catching the save, but now Josh with the second ace. Snake catches the dash punch, and that's made the kill.
Wow, the primary from Josh there alongside the dash punch actually made the difference with the kill there. Even if it didn't kill it, probably would have scored regardless, but Luke has a lot of tricks up his sleeve to clear around dash punch, as we've seen in this series already, so that really could have been a very important difference being made. 3Z Breezy, again, he's positioned very well here with primary, passive, and flip. Applying this damage is just a high ratio, high frequency, really. And that frequency is exactly what you're looking for as Bombardiers. It plays into your win con to keep the forward staggered for so long, eventually finding those kills and being able to convert those kills into a water cannon just like this. We'll go back in. It's not quite enough to find it. Milkman finds a clear around the Zentara primary there, but a strike war from 3Z Breezy getting right past Josh, not even being able to worry about Milkman as he gets an angle that goes right through him.
Yeah, we're seeing kind of the set of Bombardiers knows what they want to do, and that is just prevent one of the players on the side of Heavy Metal Gunner from existing in the field at one time. Is Snake, I mean, wasn't able to play, and now is not going to be able to play any longer. Is Snake because he's taken so low, but Stealth Rock also taking a lot of that damage as well, and no goal scored just yet. Breezy trying to get that slice and dice, but nothing found as Josh, really great attempt on the power forward, is going to be saved away by Luke and the defense. But now it is Heavy Metal Gunner just trying to find some way to get into this point. Josh with the flip online, not using it just yet, but passing it back to Milkman, getting a little bit more of those cooldowns down as Luke now has the flip burn. Snake with the secondary is going to be able to catch the Goldberry down, but that is Josh off the map at the same time. Water Cannon maybe online shortly here. It is going to be sent and nothing found with it as 3Z Breezy has a flip available, not finding anything off the passive.
Yeah, great saves from Milkman again. Oh, striking instantly on the flip. Hard read on 3Z Breezy. Very will fall by now. However, the net is not in extreme danger as all three forwards, all three players from Heavy Metal Gunner are able to defend. But a very, very condensed glitch pop from Shape reads the angle on Milkman there perfectly as he predicts it to go right back in like parallel to the water cannon. Really well played from Shapeshifting there, saving a point that could have been dangerous if they didn't score right there.
Yeah, I mean, Josh and Snake, though, taking super low. Doesn't matter, though. Barrier comes down. Snake on the 1v1, not finding anything. Great strike from Shapeshifting is going to mean that no barrier is found, or no goal is found. But that is Josh off the map for now. Another 3 seconds, but that is Vice now back online. As now it's a breakaway from Snake, trying to find something. But great strike throw from Luke is going to entirely dismantle that offense. Doesn't matter, though. Score gets back up to Snake. Saved away once again. Breezy just unable to find anything on a Milkman. Great strikes from this error. Gonna mean that barrier just now goes down, but Witching Beam not able to find the clear. Stealth Rock, though, great glitch buff is gonna mean that no goal is found just yet. 3Z Breezy with the secondary, not finding the goal. Great strike from Milkman is gonna mean that nothing is found. Flip almost available on that era. Nothing just yet. Be able to lock in as now Josh trying to get it up to Snake, trying to get this offense flowing. Tornado coming out, only gets one hit on the core, but then is burned out. And now Breezy with the AR rush, not finding anything just yet. Josh has flip available, but maybe taking a lot of damage now. Flip comes out, not able to get the core. Great strike from Luke is going to mean nothing is found. That's going to be Snake almost taken off the map. But Milkman, great Bewitching Beam to save it away.
Milkman making some of the most important saves he's ever made. This is, but eventually, Breezy's able to find the ball as Shape can dash in with the flip there. Milkman stalled at that point for so long when it looked like it was completely over, but they weren't able to find the point in the middle of that time, in the downtime between those very, very scary offenses. Eventually, a checkmate situation can show itself as Milkman didn't have that beam to work with anymore. Spark of Focus is in this draft as 3Z Breezy has already picked up strength, so it has to be denied away, Josh being the one to do it. Vice, who does not mind picking up CDR at all, a very, very strong pickup on her. Chrono Boost on Eric would be great for kickoff especially. Kickoff is very important on the key splash zone. Adrenaline Rush on 3Z Breezy for multiple reasons. The first is that Zentaro himself is just very good with Adrenaline Rush. His cooldowns are low, so they get reduced to almost 0. And his passive gets reset by it. But also, he is the kill confirmer on this team that is cycling out a lot of damage. He is the one that they're putting actually claim those eventual kills to get those Adrenaline Rush procs in the first place. So it's maybe the most important draft of the entire game here, aside from maybe Stinger on Shape here.
Yeah, is that it's gonna be a kill found onto Shapeshifting, but I mean Shape is back online. Now though, Milkman on the defense, 3Z has so many cooldowns, but no
Yeah.
cooldown is gonna be needed, is just a pass up to Shapeshifting found, and just right in that coin slot there between the two players means that now it is Bombardiers only 2 points away from potentially taking this set and this game, but we'll see.
Yeah, shapeshifting hasn't been getting too much inner focus value aside from the later parts of that last set when I believe it was fully stacked. Because he's been being dash punched quite a bit. He's been taken off the map by Snake, especially early on in these sets. So he'll have to rebuild it all the way through. That could be a bit of coverage though, because it's the idea like, oh, if we lose multiple points here, if we don't just 3-0 right now, unless we die like that, we'll build up our inner focus again. But Snake keeps finding these kills over and over again, making sure that the win condition of Bombardiers is not making itself known, keeping shapeshifting in check there, almost in a cell beam scoring, but not quite, as the water cannon is coming in here for Emily Gundam. A dash from Snake, killing shapeshifting again! They're sitting with the water cannon. Breezy Breezy the next to die, but he is not quite confirmed, and there's not great confirmed for Emily Gundam here either, so he might actually be able to recover.
Yeah, 3Z now back in the land of the non-staggered is now Snake looking a little low. Stealth Rock though building up a few of these inner focus stacks with that Firewall Sentry is gonna find nothing just yet. No man, great stall is gonna keep it out of his defensive line, but this 3Z with the pass, oh not quite, with the strike almost up to Stealth Rock. Now it's in the overtime. We're at the red core zone as 3Z Breezy on the 1v1 with Milkman, not quite finding anything. Now with the rush, not finding any gold just yet. Even so, Milkman Josh able to keep it out with this two-layered defense on the top and bottom of the goal. Snake trying to get it with the Phoenix kick, not finding anything just yet though. As now it's 3Z Breezy. Oh, Stealth Rock with the shapeshifting with the Cyber's Life is gonna find it just out of nowhere.
Even if that didn't score, he had his flip to work with too. Almost a death knell for Milkman walking with the core for even a moment, playing versus a dash range Jaime there. Again, as long as these points go long, Bombardiers are advantaged. They have that stinger, they have the inner focus, which is stacking as we speak, and they also have team player in that overtime situation. Luke, we saw a lot of value from his team player there too in the last point. The core speed was overwhelming. Snake couldn't really do anything about it. And Josh doesn't have much range himself to deal with. However, he's able to flip out of that, still dies to Breezy Breezy. The adrenaline rush is coming through, and Breezy has so many options. Milkman can't cover them all. Breezy picks only one, a dash into the top corner, and that is the series in the bag. For the Bombardiers, very well played.
Yeah, Bombardiers, a nice quick 2-0. We did see a lot of signs of life from Heavy Metal Gundam, and they had their win condition kind of figured out, but ultimately the side of Bombardiers just said, hey, no, you can't do this. And really was able to dismantle a lot of offensive plays from the side of Heavy Metal Gundam, and just kept a lot of people off the map for a lot of that game, as we're seeing 10 KOs from both sides. But the side of Bombardiers, you know, has those abilities that do two things at once. I like to think of abilities. I may be wrong here, but I like to think of abilities as kind of things that can hit, things that can clip you and the core at the same time. Oh my gosh, we're in queue again.
We're running it back.
Things that can hit you in the core at the same time. And so you're seeing in a lot of these abilities from Breezy, Stealth Rock, and Luke, all just kind of hitting other people at once, whereas you're not really seeing that same kind of pressure from the side of Heavy Metal Gundam. If they're using the ability to hit you, they're going to be using that ability to hit you, and we just saw it work out really well for the side of Bombardiers.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out, looking at the stat screen, one thing I think is very important. If you look at the KOs and damage, you would not be able to tell how the game actually played out. The damage is pretty similar, save for error. The KOs are exactly the same. You would not know what was happening to Heavy Metal Gundam looking at the stat screen, because Stinger doesn't calculate damage. It applies a damage over time debuff, and that does not add to your damage number. Shapeshifting damage was way higher than 24,000, and we can see that based on what was happening to the forwards of Heavy Metal Gundam the entire game. Over and over again, they were staggered pretty much permanently. It was a permanent debuff, and Breezy Breezy was able to cover for those confirms over and over again. And that's just the value of Stinger, the value of inner focus Stinger at that too, the CDR that comes in to increase the uptime of that too. So very well played for Bombardiers, a very, very clean series from them. A close game one and a dominant game two. Very well played.
Yeah, it definitely is. That was our last match for the day, but I do believe we have a post show here for the evening. We're gonna cut to a break real quick, but we'll be back with some more Omega Strikers. Not quite the game, but you know the players that you saw today on this lovely core strike field. We'll be right back, and we will see you in just a moment.
NASL North American Strikers League Season 7 Week 7 post show. A little bit of a mouthful there, but you know how it is. I'm joined by a winner of each of the winning teams. And instead of necessarily going over all the matches, I actually want to take a second to highlight interesting portions about their seasons. So I have a little bit of trivia. I have my questions right here. If you are a person on the team, you should not answer until the other people have tried to answer. So for this first one, Mr. Stealth Rock, I don't want you to answer. For everyone else, the only thing I require, please don't open Liquipedia. Please don't open the stats sheet. Okay. What map has Bombardiers never won despite picking it at least 3 different weeks? Other people on the desk, discuss this, please.
All right, you take the lead, Fresh. I believe in you, buddy.
It's collaborative, Leo. Speak. This is about your lover, bro. This is your Lob City guy.
All right, I think they picked it, so I don't know what it would be. I'm thinking.
Oh, sorry, they've played it. I should say that
Okay.
they played it. At
Oh,
least
they
3
played it.
separate
They didn't
weeks.
pick it. Okay.
I don't know if they picked it every time.
I'm gonna have to say goo.
What map has been? Let's go Gates. Let's just be different.
Okay, Ryan, what do you think?
It's 100% Gates, and I think we
It
also
is
picked it all 3
Gates!
times.
Oh,
Gates
W.
Bombardiers have picked Gates of Obscura 3 different weeks and have lost every single time. Beast mode. Okay, now RTF. This is an RTF question. Leon, do not answer. For everyone else on the desk, and Saya, honestly, you can play if you want to. What has been the most banned character versus RTF this season?
You know, like, if everyone is thinking properly with their brains, it should be Kazan.
Kazan.
True.
That guy, look at the game today. That guy was farming on Kazan with nothing new. So I would say Kazan. It's probably like Razzus or some shit.
I've seen him on Kazan too much. Like I remember.
Yeah, that's what I'm
seeing him play
saying.
too
That's what I'm
much.
saying.
How does he
I'm
get
gonna
the
say-
character?
I'm gonna say. Oh, I'm gonna say Vice. It's gonna be Vice.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
It's got to be Kazan. I'm sticking with Kazan.
Okay. Sai, do you have any thoughts?
No.
Okay. Unfortunately, Vice, if Hungry Boy was here every week, would be a great
I
guess.
forgot.
Unfortunately, that
Yep.
guy is a glorified sub,
I
so it's
forgot.
not Vice. Before I reveal the answer, Leon, do you have a guess? What is the most banned character versus your team?
Isn't it fitting?
It's Finny by a
What?
significant
Yeah,
margin. Finny
yeah.
That's crazy.
has
We
been
never-
banned 7 times versus Kazan has only been banned 5, which is crazy. I ban Kazan every time if I can, except for the one time we didn't ban Kazan. All good. Okay. Now we're moving on to Demon Time with, obviously, we have our wonderful Demon Time representative here. Yeehaw. Guys, I just have a simple question. They're currently setting a crazy record, and I want to see if anyone knows how many KOs per 10 does Demon Time average?
8. I'm just gonna throw it out
That
there.
would be
I'm-
crazy.
I'm feeling an 8. You never know.
Dude, I don't
8
know.
is
I'm between.
insane.
You never know.
I'm really between like 6 or 7 right now. I don't know.
I think
Yeah,
it's got to be 6.
Oh yeah, hit it, Vaughn, hit it.
Oh shit!
Okay. Between 6
I'd
or
say-
7?
I'd say I'm gonna go like 7.5. You know, not even an even number. I'm gonna do 7.5.
I know what you mean. Okay, well, you're all on the right track. 8 is insane, but it is 6 KOs per 10 minutes, which is a crazy stat. I think that's the most it's ever been. I didn't have time to check all the seasons, but 6 KOs per 10 is insane. Like, that is that is insane to me. It's a one every minute, every game. It's crazy. Okay, now, everyone that's not on Rat Pack, there are 4 characters that the Rat Pack current first place team has not played this season. Can you give me 3 of them?
Oh gosh. Okay, Juno's one.
Era?
No, they've played Era. I feel like Carmine's
I
played
don't
Era.
know. I don't remember.
Carmine like seems like the kind of guy that play Era. I think it's Juno. No, Fresh
Okay.
plays Juno. I forgot. No, never mind. Fresh plays
they've
Juno.
locked in Juno versus their 9-0 slaughter versus us. So,
You know,
oh,
wow,
gotta
this is
check
really
what it
hard.
is.
This is actually really hard because I actually don't know.
Kazan?
I forgot.
Okay,
Hang
I'm
on,
gonna.
I gotta check it
I'm down with the Kazan, but I feel like Fresh has played that. Oh
Yeah,
my
but
god,
like,
this is really
all
hard.
but all the other ones are like way more probable. Like
That's Fresh
Kazan,
played Mako? Fresh played Mako, right?
he played Mako today, didn't he?
This fresh guy looking so smug on the camera
All
as we
right,
decide what
30
he has and
seconds.
hasn't played.
30 seconds. 30 seconds. I need all the picks in 30 seconds.
I'm gonna say Juno. No, fuck.
Okay.
No, I'm not gonna say Juno. I lied. I'm gonna say
20
Era.
seconds. Okay.
I'm gonna say Mako.
Okay.
And I'm gonna
Vote.
say. I
You
feel like
pick
I haven't seen
Vice?
Tempo play Zen yet. Yeah.
Okay.
Promise
Oh,
with
you're
Vice.
right.
Just
You're
hey,
right,
all I'm
Zen,
saying
you're
is
right.
more people gotta watch the boys 9-0 versus Rat Pack. They played Era and Juno in that game. Just absolute dumpster. The correct answer,
Well,
Fresh,
I
I've already talked
remember.
to it about it, so he knows, is Kazan, Zentaro, Drakkar, and Vice. Those are the 4 characters
Oh, they haven't
Oh,
played
that they have not
Jakar?
played. They have not. They might have this week, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay.
Yeah.
I've done RTF, I've done Bomb, I've done Time. Okay. Okay, this is for Sad Boys. How many sets have Sad Boys lost after 7 weeks of NASL? For context, the other team that is 5-1 is the Rat Pack, and they've lost 25 sets in their 7 matches. So that's for context. How many sets have the Sad Boys dropped over 7 matches?
I'm gonna say
It's gonna
10.
be like,
Yeah, I was
think
gonna
it's
say
gonna
10.
be 9.
Dude, I was gonna say 10 too. Yeah, we're all.
I think it's in
Mm.
that range because I mean,
I'll just
obviously,
go-
Rat Pack is a guaranteed 6. I don't know how many sets y'all
Actually,
took
no.
after the 2 games. Did y'all
I'm
get?
locking
I
in
think
12.
y'all got 3-0'd game 1, right? So
It was a slaughter. Don't watch that game back. It
yeah,
was a
so
little-
6
little bad.
guaranteed, and
Yeah.
then it might be like 8. I'm gonna say 8. I'm gonna say 9. I feel like 9 feels right.
Is everyone down for 9? All right, sounds
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's a yes. Ryan, you were so close. Over the course of the season, the Sad Boys have lost 6 sets to the Rat
6?
Pack. They've lost 1. Hold on. 6 sets to the
okay.
Rat Pack, 1 set to EKC with Flowers, and 1 set to Polar Cortex, bringing us up to in 7 BO3s. We've lost 8 sets according to the stats page. Beast mode, Fraud Boys, owned. Can I be honest? This whole bit was to brag about that. I literally came up with the other trivia just so I could
Nice.
drop that
Nice,
nuke.
bro.
Fuck yeah.
We didn't
Let's
drop.
go.
We didn't drop any
Let's
sets
go.
to fucking subs.
Let's go. Let's go.
Nice.
Let's
We can beat
go.
subs,
Let's
guys. We can
go.
beat subs
Let's
with
go.
Kainu.
Let's go. Beast mode. You're mad. We're better than you. Okay. Anyone have any thoughts about their games today?
I have a
We
thought about
let-
the patch, the current patch. I'm just
Oh,
gonna put on the barcode
rip
hat.
it.
This is gonna be me for like the rest of the season. So there you go. It's just barcode picks, barcode clears. That's all it's gonna be.
That's facts. 50 barcode clears. I agree.
Oh.
Melee goalie's feeling really weak right now, guys. I'm excited for some Sheb too. Here we
Yeah.
are. I'm locked in. Today I will pick an eject goalie in the modern age. Anyone have thoughts on their games? Anything else? Any shout outs? Any vibes? It's open mic night today for the post show.
Do not
I-
give NXZD ad rush or you will die.
Facts. That's facts.
My take is that Mako is so back, and I don't even get to play her. All good.
You could, bro. Play Mako midfield. That's what we did.
Ooh.
It's
I
fire.
don't know about that.
It's fire, bro. It's fire. Okay. Everyone else, I think everyone has something to say on the desk. I think that was it.
Yo, wait, can we nerf
Yep.
Kazan again? Because clearly he's way too strong. Sorry.
Dude.
I just yeah, we have to nerf Kazan again. Just remove his forms at this point, you know? Just let him only have one.
Dude,
Screw
we
it.
have to nerf your goalie somehow. Like
Right.
there's only one. Like we can't beat the Kazan, and I'm not joking. Like it's that's just how it's gonna have to be. That's just how it's gonna
Yeah.
have to be. Hey, I'm down.
Valid.
Kai looking great. I was ready to pick it today, and I did not get to play it because the merchant decided he wanted to play Kai. So next week I'm playing Kai. Anyway, that's that. Thanks everyone. W NASL week. Lots of game 3s actually. Shout out to RTF EKC. That series was hype. I liked watching it quite a bit. That's gonna be all from us today. Bit of a chill post show vibe. You know, just get in, get out. And tune in next week for week 8. We've got some heater games. Playoffs is going to be decided. And I can't really tell who's going to round out those last spots. So you don't want to miss that. We'll see you next week. Hopefully Drakkar will be back. And goodbye, everyone.
苦しくてこの夜を見つめてたくて濡れた髪を撫でながらまたあなた